your involvement in the camp here?
Well, first of all, this is my first time ever being here at this camp, and I'm about 2 years too late because my man Sam Mitchell, he and I go back a long, long ways, and I had been promising him for the last couple of years that I would make it down to Columbus, Georgia. And, you know, for one reason or another, with my hectic schedule, I was unable to do so. But in this particular situation, I had carved the date out from my schedule, and I just sort of made arrangements around it because come hell or high water, I do everything that I can to keep my word, especially with my friends and my brothers, guys that I love as much as I love him. So that's why I'm here.
Being here in Georgia, the University of Georgia is big here, and they've had a couple football players arrested here. And the question is kind of, why is it? What's the cause of that? Just kind of your thought on that situation.
Well, first of all, I think let's step back for a second. You're talking about how many players on a football team? You know, it's in the 50s, and then you're talking about guys on a practice squad and everything else. A couple of dudes getting arrested is not a reflection on the University of Georgia. That's just the reality. On far too many occasions, we see some things that may transpire, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my Lord, what's the problem here? It's like it's an epidemic. That's simply not true. Anywhere, any walk of our society, you have things that are reflective and appear to be a microcosm of our society. Things happen. There are people on Wall Street getting arrested. There's people in the media getting in trouble. There's people in various other professions. These are not children. These are grown adults, educated, accomplished, all right, with mortgages and family, etc., and still don't know how to act. So how is it that we can look at that, see something like that happen, but then look at a bunch of college kids or a few college kids who happen to get themselves in trouble, and all of a sudden it's a reflection on the program? I think that's incredibly unfair to any program in America, including Georgia, and I don't subscribe to that. Whoever got arrested did something wrong. If there's something that's a continuous problem, they're the knuckleheads and they're the ones that should be responsible for it. But if it's something that's of epidemic proportions, where there's a bunch of people doing this same thing in the same location, or there's a particular individual that's a repeated offender, then you've got an issue because that individual has been allowed to continue to repeat himself. Outside of that, mistakes happen. It's a part of life. We all make them. We all are obliged to overcome them. And I think that we just need to understand, instead of always looking to point the finger of blame beyond the perpetrators themselves, let's focus on the perpetrators themselves. You're the one that did the crime. Let's deal with you first.